Really hoping that I can be able to do this in less than 2 hours. So I'm testing myself, but then, if Ketu says more, who am I to argue against Ketu? Anyway, this is Mita. Welcome to Sinistry Expert, and you are reading this from your ascendant or from your sun sign, particularly for those who don't have their birth times. And of course, we are reading it from the 10th until the 13th. However, I am so 100% sure that when I upload this, it's already going to be the 10th. Right now, it is the 9th, and the time is at 10:30 at night, Paris time. Sorry, it's 10:30 at night, Paris time. And I just want to let you know what to expect, for the next couple of days. And let's get into it. Go. Aries sun or Aries ascendant for the 10th until the 11th. First of all, let me just tell you what I see in general for the couple of days to come. I do see that your energy, your concentration is going to be needed to be placed toward yourself. Definitely. So for those who want to work on their gym regime, exercise, how you look, all of that, also home life, definitely that part is actually quite active now. And so of course, as always, the career for a lot of people, definitely. But I also do see that something relating to your maybe competition, if you are in a competition type of an activity, or your job itself, what you do. So your 6th house becomes another critical point that takes your attention this time. So I do see that you will be sacrificing quite a lot from your home life, maybe towards more of your spouse, and some communication or commuting could be one of those things whereby you have to kind of like give a sacrifice, something to deal with. But in any case, what I do see for tomorrow, the 10th until 11th, remember, I will be posting it probably on the 10th. So when I say tomorrow, I'm still referring to the 10th, because right now, as I said, it is 10:30, 25 to 11 at night, Paris time. So now a bit of challenges for the 10th and the 11th. So that's what's showing here. So of course you're going to have to deal with the stuff, and it could have obviously started today as well, but actually it started today. You would have felt some sort of a strain or something irritating you quite gravely, like on the 9th. And of course, for the Americans, it's going to be very relevant because they are probably in the morning of the 9th in Canada, and so it does really work well. But for the 9th year, and so from the 9th until the 11th, I see a bit of frustration, a bit of inconvenience. It could be caused by anything, but probably something relating to spouse or the home life, like I said, like the things that are taking you, or maybe debts for those who have got debts, or even something around your career here. So what I do see then happening, or that would be happening for the 10th until 11th for you guys, is that your money house here, this is what I see, a lot of compromise, a lot of sacrifice. I don't know, maybe some of you could be making a purchase that you really didn't intend to make, or you know, money has to go out and you didn't really want the money to go out. So something like that, that is taking your that is making you have a sacrifice, make a sacrifice here. So what you are being called is just definitely to tighten your bank account, make sure there are no leaks, you know, as well as anything relating to what can be taken by hand. So that also you need to make sure you cover that, right? And I do see you may be forced to, some of you, to not speak on something that you really want to speak on, and some, you know, you feel like somebody is placing their hand on your mouth, literally. So I could see that. And what I do see also is you know, some caution in terms of like feeling like you're losing. As I said, you know, there could be maybe a purchase that you didn't intend for it to happen, and then it happens, right? But obviously be arrange your communication, arrange what you say so that it comes out in the manner that you would have wanted to come, because sometimes you could speak so quickly and, you know, it just maybe doesn't land well with the other person, it just aggravates them. So I do see that, but as I said, I do see some sort of control, or feeling like you can't say exactly what you want to say. Maybe you are assessing the environment, right? What I also do see for the Aries ascendant, well, particularly for those who are into spiritual life, this part can boost your self-esteem at this time. So that's what I see here. You could feel like even how you appear in public, you feel like boosted, like you feel ready, you feel confident to appear in public places here. So I do see that. So there is this rapid or it could be a rapid desire to, I mean, it could be a desire to rapidly go up the rank, or for some, you really get selected to go up the rank at this time. Because what is happening is that at this time, at these days, from the 10th, from the 9th until the 11th, the moon is in your 6th house of work. So naturally, for some, you know, your work could be seen at this time, could be like recognized at this time, which would improve your status as well as how you achieve or execute your ambitions. Yeah, right. So that's what I see. Now, I do see at this time that there could also be when it comes to your dating life, it still becomes something to think about for those who are dating, right? Not obviously for married people, but for those who are in the dating pool, this part could still be a bit irky, and something that you maybe need to sleep over and think about it even more, right? So that's possible because of the Get-To, of course, that is in your 5th house at this time. So I also do see that at this time, because you still have your Mars in your 9th house, of course, I mean, I'm doing this like about 3 days, so it has not moved. But what I do see here is that there could be like, because of that Mars with Mercury, there could be now a forced decision upon you, And because this is the ninth house, and of course it's the ninth house of religion, of law, and all of these things, I think I said it prior that some can feel like they have to choose a side now. Like if you were voting the side, then you have to kind of stick to it and defend that side. So I do see that coming up at this time. Now, when the moon is in that sixth house of yours, of course, your mind could be about your work, your people that you serve, and also a bit of focused on getting the job done, right? And at the same time, I do see that you could also be sacrificing some of your time that you could be spending with your friends so that you can put a whole focus on achieving ambition, like achieving something here. So there is that possibility for the Aries guys. Now, when it comes to the 11th until the 13th, this is when the moon moves into your 7th house. And here things become ultimately interesting, of course, because the spouse is feeling all the emotions that are here, but at the same time they're able to be logical about it, or they're forced to be logical about how they express their emotions. But there could also be some busyness, when it comes to the spouse. Maybe she's or he's with a lot of people. A lot of people, seeing a lot of people around them, and just being here, being there, which also could make you feel like you're losing control of the situation, or you're losing control in the relationship. So be mindful of that. Now, I do see at this time that around the 13th, so around the 13th at this time, there could be some happy news here, right? Some happy news whereby maybe you're exposed to a hopeful achievement or something like that, like just happy news. But, the thing is that here, things should not be taken too deeply. This is not a Scorpio house generally. This is like a Gemini, Sagittarius house, whereby everything is flowy, everything is like free-minded, open-minded. So that's what is being called here to, if there's an achievement here, you celebrate normally, but not be stuck on that, okay, I've achieved this, now I can't do anything else. No, you have to move on to the next objective, because that's what Sagittarius is about, movement, right? So I also do see at this time that because of that 7th house of your moon, of course, naturally it is in Libra, and the Venus part is also activated, which is also with your Mars at this time. So again, be careful of contention between you and spouse, arguments that could be, about belief systems, like, I think there's, no, I think that, I think this, I think that, right? So those types of conversations whereby each person is like, I'm right, no, I'm right, blah, 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 right? So just be careful of those type of things. I think, it would be a very nice time between the 11th and the 13th for you and your spouse to go out to a museum, go out to theater, but whereby maybe they speak a different language here. They're not speaking, your language. If you speak English, just go and see something in French or something in Xhosa, something in Spanish, Italian, just a different vibe that you need, you and your spouse. So choose a date between the 11th and the 13th. When you guys are free, you just go like, babe, we are on. We are going to an expose, together. Or, if you are already like in the mood to travel and you stay in one city, you just go to another city together, go to Chinatown. Well, I think in all countries there's always Chinatown, or there's always like, a part in the city whereby it's so different. You feel like you're in a different world. Just you and your babe, just go there and look for stuff and just be in a different culture at this time. It would also be nice to listen to some music, because obviously by your Venus being triggered, the opposite sign is being triggered as well, which is the third house. So if communication, listening, so listen to different types of music, just be in that roam environment, just do things differently. I think that would actually be very nice for you and your lover, right? Just obviously continue to take vigilant, when it comes to the Mars issues, obviously because of the Mars environment, then the Mars the Martian energies, right? Now, excuse me, I'm trying not to talk a lot because I just want to have a few hours today. But what I also do see on the 13th, particularly on the 13th now, here there could be some temper, so be mindful, when it comes to the, that temper here. And it could obviously be always, linking to spouse or to other people or your clients. If you are selling something, you are in business, so there could be some trigger of emotional bursting here, maybe to control stuff or to regulate, something whereby you feel like you need to give orders like, do that, I don't want to do this, blah blah blah. But a lot of impact I do see it being highlighted for Aries people on these days. So be careful how you say it, how you give your orders, particularly to spouse. Now, what else do I see here? You could between the 10th and the 11th again, you could be receiving some news here. It could be news because the moon again is in the 6th house, sorry, maybe news relating to your job, to your health, and so there could be some news like that for some Aries ascendants and sun, right? Now, what else do I see here? I think for Aries, that's it, because I'm trying to cut down the time. So I think for Aries, for now, I've given you guys some fun things to do together, and obviously gave some caution, a bit of caution is always needed. But I don't want to emphasize too much on the detail about, the Martian stuff, so you get it. And What else? Check. I do see actually just for the whole period, like the whole period. For some Aries ascendants and suns could be looking for power here, or wanting to be associated with powerful people. So I do see that need, because remember, when Mars is in the 9th house, it is actually in the house of authority, in the house of power. So that becomes activated now, whereby a lot of Aries people will be getting that boss opportunity, to be a boss, to rule over people, to give orders, but also to be associated with really powerful people here. So do take the opportunity, and when it comes there, to take it, even if you're like an assistant, because I do see that those who get attached to powerful people now, they will be acting as assistants mostly, instead of like the direct big dog, except of course if you have already been playing the associate part, or the vice part, or but I do see a lot actually of Aries guys just getting that good response, and getting attached to the right people at this time. So all of these things I've been saying throughout is that picture is coming now into a full circle of what is yet to come for Aries guys. What else? Check. Tululu, cha-cha-cha, I think okay, perhaps be that like from the 10th until the 11th as well. It could also be nice to to try to be as harmonic as you can, and particularly if you could bring in some romance in your relationship, some art, some just something artistic, something vibey. For those who are artists, write a song, sing a song to your babe, something like that, right? That would be very nice to do, because particularly, oh my gosh, like for those who play instruments like a guitar, a violin, oh la la, you guys just go all out, right? So thank you, Aries. And now when it comes to the Taurus, remember I'm recording on the 9th, but I will probably and for surely upload it on the 10th in the 8 hours. But in any case, I'm gonna start from the 9th, because in America and Canada, it's still gonna be highly relevant due to the time difference, right? So for you guys from the 9th until the 13th, I do see that your collective consciousness, collective consciousness, I don't know why I'm using that word, but your efforts, your energy is being drawn into the normal houses, like your first house, whatever, home life, 10th life, but now also your 8th house becomes active now. So it becomes active, and there's something from the 8th house theme that could be now literally taking your mind to that. I do see that you will be sacrificing maybe some money, whereby you have to spend money here, or if you're not spending, you're going to be required to sacrifice some of your sleep, so you could have just be careful not to have sleepless nights and you stay up too much like at night. And for those who have children, definitely something relating to the kids could be one of your to-dos, or something to think about, or something to plan for at this time. I do see that between the 10th and the 11th at this time. Yes, so between the 10th and the 11th, your moon is going to be the moon actually is going to be in your 5th house. Definitely, again, as I said, kids, that part comes up here. Now you could be wanting to do the best for your kids, or wishing that your kids could do the best here. So I do see that. But even if it's your project like arts, you are literally like putting the best effort to make it acceptable, or to make it nice, or but I do see a lot of effort being placed in that area, whereby you want the execution to give the best results. However, this requires that you should take power from someone, meaning that you could be competing, maybe you're a content creator, so there's a lot of competitors, so you need to take some of their fans, fan base to be yours. Or maybe if it's planning about your kids, then you need to maybe take some time from the mom or the dad, so that you have a bit more. But I do see that trade-off here happening. Just be mindful of planning too quickly, right? Because I see that it could come through whereby you just plan too quickly, you deciding on taking risks so quickly, not thinking far off. I do see that, because you do actually have quite a lot of confidence right now when it comes to you, Taurus, at this time. So I do see that. And because of this, some people could feel like, oh, this is my destiny, this is what I was supposed to do, so these things are happening because they're supposed to happen to me. So I do see all of that talk. Now I also do see that in the same period here, there could be some sort of agitation, simply because the moon is in Virgo here. So just be mindful, you don't spread the agitation towards your children, or maybe have it shown through your work, your art and stuff like that. So discipline here is required for you, Taurus, at this time. Now I also do see at this time that for some Aries, that for some Taurus guys at this time, you could also be feeling, because with that moon here, your 11th house is also triggered, right? So naturally you're thinking maybe about your friends, or something relating to friends is pulling your attention. And at the same time, what I do see coming up is that, you could also be wanting to make some sacrifices here. And those sacrifices could be connected to what you have with your spouse. So not only you, but with your spouse at this time, which could bring up, some discussions that must be had at this time. Hence I said, your 8th house becomes highly active, because also your Venus is in there, right? So I also do see then that at this time, so between the 10th and the 11th, so the 9th and the 11th, if I have to include the 9th at this time, maybe just make sure that when you tell your children, or when you draw something, there's no clash, like everything is just harmonic, right? I do see some of you could also use you could use some religion to speak to your kids, maybe to educate them of something, maybe to make them aware, right? And of course, the religious books are always the number one human rule books, right, when it comes to humans. So I do see that some of you could be using that or opting to use that at this time. So another part that is or that becomes obvious here is that when it comes to dating, like your life, your intimacy, like the dating life if you're not married, right? Here you could get carried away so quickly. So be careful that, you are aware that you're enjoying yourself, or maybe just, having dates or whatever. But I do see a lot of Taurus people getting carried away so quickly, whereby you feel like, oh, this is it, I just met this person yesterday and we're getting married tomorrow, right? So I do see that type of impulsivity. So be careful, because for some it could be decided of, is it worth it, or what I'm leaving behind, my single life, is it worth it, stuff like that. So there could be those questions to think through. So if you do meet somebody at this time and you're contemplating, engagement and stuff like that, maybe just wait until the moon is out, and then you can be able to send that message to your loved one that I want to get married now, right? So there is a vision here that I see that needs to be materialized. And of course, with the certain giving the aspect here of a couple dom, unionship dom, it could turn into a serious thing, the relationship. But of course, you have to just wait before you decide between that 9th and the 11th at this time. So this is what I see. I also do see, because this is a house of entertainment, I also do see that it could also be nice, like I advised the Aries, it could be nice to go to the movies. Now you guys go to the movies together, see what's playing, and just go out on a date night, to the movies, or maybe you go to a concert, just you guys need to go out. So that's for you, is going to be between the 9th and the 11th, and that can bring a lot of harmony, particularly if you've been having a lot of tension in the relationship, because I do see some a use of body. So maybe some tension in the body, or maybe you wanting to be physical, no, like the nice physical, right? Because fifth house is about that, just the playful part. I do see also some body action for some, whereby you could want to express your feelings through the body touch, through bodies touching. So I do see that. So that could also be very nice here. Something to do, something to explore, definitely, because I do see that it could bring a lot of productivity in the relationship. Like it's like when you have to charge batteries, the body touch at this time, it could be very, very helpful for those who are dating, of course, and bring that balance. Now when the moon moves into your 6th house here, it becomes definitely about servicing each other as partners, because it's in Libra. So what is going on relating to love, relationship, partnerships, conflicts within those relationships becomes very active now. So just be careful that you guys don't fall into small arguments here, and particularly whereby one person feels like they not being justified, nothing is getting the balance scale that it's needed, right? I do see that there could be a lot of guarding here, maybe your emotions, your expressions, but it's like it's being guarded so much here. And it also is indicated here, it could be because of the response of, you're responding to an action that was done to you, and you're like guarding. So be careful about too much guarding that you can't even talk to your partner here. But because moon is smooth and all of that, it's also a very nice time to solve lots of problems here, particularly those who that are needing heart to heart talk. Definitely can use that. But there's also that blaming game here coming in, whereby it's like, but babe, you're the one who did this. Oh no, you did that, blah 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 blah, right? So I do see that. So at this time, it could be nice to connect maybe through somebody if it's necessary here, right? But some connection, particularly for those who have to reassure that their partner that they fidel, they are not out there. This could be another technique to mediate the problem, whereby you just reassure them that actually I'm here, I'm with you, right? And all of that guarding could, just fall down by itself. So in any case, I also do see at this time that there could be, some sort of, particularly around, let me see, between the 12th and the 13th here, there could be one spouse who's acting like, a servant, literally just wanting to service their spouse. But of course, this is a beautiful servitude thing here, because moon in the 6th house is going to be forced to be a server regardless. So I do see that coming up, but at the same time, just be careful of envy. I do see some envy, maybe from a competitor, or if you are in competition, then you become envious of what your competitor has, regardless of the competition. It could be sports, it could be political, right, where you're competing. I do see that. And you are just be mindful of some scandal or possibility of a scandal, because again of the placement of the moon in that 6th house of problems and conflict and all of these things, right? So I think when it comes to Taurus, I have covered enough to make you be ready, I think, right, for this period. Of course, there's so much I could say, but I'm trying to cut down the time that I use on record. Is just too long. It's just too long for some people. I mean, yeah. Anyway, thanks, Taurus. So the thing is that when it comes to the Geminis, right, at this time between the 9th until the 13th, today's the 10th, and I do see that your first house, spouse, home life, career, they need a balance, and you are trying by all means to balance everything, right? But I do see a sacrifice of your sleep at this time, and if it's not sleep, then some money is coming out of you spending it, right? So be careful of that. And I do see that you could want to be alone. I've said it I think like a week ago, but that is coming back again for the Geminis, whereby you feel like you need some time alone now, right? But what I actually see here is that why not a massage? Why not get a massage? Right? You don't have to, get a fancy thing. Just have your spouse, just touch your shoulders, relax you, you stretch and you stretch, because that could break the tension that I see, because you're trying to balance a lot of stuff. You're trying to balance between you and your spouse, also home life and career this time. So that would be absolutely wonderful here. Now I do see that you would need to be watchful about these parts that I just mentioned in terms of your life, and make sure that the balance is placed so properly here. There could be a reaffirmation or a declaration of loyalty here, whereby you feel like, or you can sense that your partner is loyal, or you guys have to reaffirm, for those who are maybe not in a good space, whereby you have to be like, oh yeah, I'm loyal to you, you're loyal to me. All right, so there's that sense of protection now that I see, whereby you feel like, or your partner feels like, you guys need to protect what you have. Could also extend beyond the relationship. It could also be just about assets, whereby you feel like, I need to preserve some of what I have and all of that. Right now, what I also do see at this time, the moon would be in your 4th house, right? So this is why I say that part becomes highly important, because from the 9th until the 11th, I also do see at this time that there could be a bit of because you have your Lord in your 7th house here. At this time, there could be some transformation, or it's not transformation, it could be a literal movement. So that's possible, a literal movement, but then it would have to be done with the partner. So maybe you're just driving around and trying to get some things for the house, but I do see that togetherness, literally moving from one place to another place together. I do see that coming up. And for some Geminis here, Gemini ascendant or sun, I do see a sense of completion here, whereby you feel that something is complete. So for some, it could be completing the relationship itself, or completing a project together, or something you always wanted to do together and stuff like that. So I do see that sense here. And it could also, again, as I said, maybe some journey that you travel from one place to another place together, but I do see some transportation here. So you and your spouse, I don't know where you guys going. Where are you going? Right, are you shopping together? What is happening here? But I do see some that movement happening. Or also there could be some important conversation now that you get to have. So it could be with his spouse, or maybe with just somebody else, from the public life. That conversation is going to actually open up something, or maybe close a chapter for you, give you closure, right? Or maybe make you vision stuff even more than normal. So this is what I see here. And by the way, for you, particularly for you Gemini, between the 10th or the 9th, right, the 9th until the 11th, it's not really a good day or times to start a new project. So no, this time is to close projects, it is to close stuff. Don't start a new one today. These days, between the 9th and the 11th. Sorry, just wait until the moon moves out of your 4th house at this time. And for some, of course, there could be some purchases of something relating to homes, domestic life, or even if it's something small like cutlery. But I do see if it's not something purchased, then maybe something fixed within the home, whereby you guys have to do some sort of renovation or whatever. All right, I do see that coming. So now, what also becomes prominent on these days here is that, let me see, because that is facing that. Check. Yeah, so okay, obviously your career here becomes active as well. Your public image, your public life, your social contribution. So it also becomes heightened at this time. So then it means that what you say should have some sort of finalization, right? So maybe you're finalizing verbally whatever you've been working on, or you are announcing it to the world. Oh, look, I bought this, or look, I've been doing this, so you're basically making people aware that around you of what's up, right? Of what's good. And at the same time, I do see that for some, as I said, that balance thing is needed between home life and career, yourself and spouse. So I do see some sort of feeling like you're confined into a certain routine that is like literally just boxing you, whereby maybe you don't have enough time to do what you would have wanted to do extra, and so you are now confined into this routine that you have to follow now, and you can't go beyond. So some could be feeling like that, particularly for those who have to impress at work, right? So that could be coming up. What I also do see for many Geminis is that the spouse could be expecting you to take a lead now in terms of some decisions that need to be taken in the relationship. So maybe you guys have been planning something, and then he's expecting you to lead, that part of a project that you guys have. But I do see some expectation from spouse, of you, like something that you need to decide on, you need to work on, you need to show at this time, right? So I do see that coming up for some Geminis at this time. What else have I not spoken about when it comes to this day? Yeah, nothing much, but I do see that through your work, through your profession, you're getting a lot of wisdom. So there's a lot of wisdom you're getting, but it is gotten through hardship. Like, it's like maybe you have obstacles, and then from those obstacles you gaining so much wisdom that you feel like there are forces that are pulling you, towards learning these things the hard way, that tough love. And for some Geminis, you could feel like you need to withdraw, and just, think things through when it comes to your profession and how to go about it. I do see that. But for some, it could be literally about surviving maybe some, I don't know, like some backlash, or maybe some betrayal at work and stuff, like, relating to your public image. I do see those that survival instinct that is required, and is particularly triggered mostly this that period between the 9th and the 11th, even though it's going to be subtly there on the other days, but it's highly triggered at these days. So what I also do see is that between the 12th and the 13th now, so between the 12th and the 13th, when the moon would have moved into your 5th house, into your 5th house at this time, you could pursue something now, or feel courage to pursue something, or you feel pressured. For most of you, it's going to be pressure whereby you feel like you have to. There's this pressure that is pushing a lot of Geminis to initiate something, or to choose an action that you will take on, but it's definitely about starting a movement, starting an action. Start. That's what is required for Geminis between the 12th and the 13th. So whatever projects you've been maybe having and planning on, and you were not sure probably if this is a good time, should I not, right now between the 12th and the 13th, you are empowered to literally start that project, that action, just go for it. And for those who've been wanting to date, and maybe you have somebody in your mind that you want to approach, between the 12th and the 13th becomes a beautiful day to literally approach this person and be like, hey, I've been feeling you, what you think, you want to go out? Yeah, for sure. Because as I said, you are feeling pressured, but at the same time you are really feeling ready. So there's nothing to hold you back. You have a right, you have that go ahead to start today. I also do see that at the same time, between the 12th and the 13th, right now, you could also feel that you're getting some support. Not only are you deciding to push your stuff, but you're also feeling like you could get a support. But because Moon and Geminis have this interesting relationship, some people could feel like, man, I've been deceived here, or I'm being deceived here, I'm being betrayed here, that part. But at the same time, it requires you to have some endurance and to literally start, and you don't stop. You don't look back. You do not look back. Okay? You start, you set off, and you just don't look back. That's what you need to do. And I do see that the 13th, on the 13th here, for those who are females, they could have a feeling of some luck, like something like it's confirming your status, or you being promoted, and obviously not all females are at work like the normal work. So it could be maybe even at your household where you feel like, oh my gosh, my man or my partner is seeing me today. Oh, is recognizing me today. Hey, what's going on here? Right, so I do see that. But just not to be too prideful about it. All is needed is a spiritual calm, and just accept that, okay, thank you God for these blessings, for what you're blessing me with. I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful, and sorry, my voice. The last time it stopped, my voice started to complain when I was doing the Cancer ascendant and sun. Today is starting earlier when I'm doing Gemini, and I still have about 3 to go. Oh la la, God bless me, right? But in any way, so yeah, you could be feeling like, hey, okay, this day is a good day, you know, I'm feeling this vibe, like people are, you know, are feeling what I'm giving and stuff. So it becomes a very nice day for the Geminis to feel good on the 13th. Now, also at this on this day, particularly the actual 13th, really, you know, you could also be feeling a bit of I have to continue with what I've already started, you know. So it's good to start, but then for those who already have something that they've started, a project that they've started, you know, you could feel reassured that I'm actually definitely, you know, absolutely, I am going the right way. I just need to continue. I just need to, you know, be grateful and just push, right? And at the same time here, for those who have kids, you know, you at this time you could also feel like you want to do something nice for your kids, or maybe, you know, you are just nice and, you know, you take them out. It would be good to take them out, actually, you know, if you have time, because it's you know, money is not a problem, you know, when it comes to making your kids happy, because even if you don't have money, you can still find a way to make, you know, something nice for your kids. So take them out, and if you can't physically like leave the house, then, you know, you cook a dinner, a very nice meal, you guys, as if you are at the restaurant with your babies, with your kids. Just pamper your children on the 13th. This is a beautiful day to do that as well, and make them feel special as well. You know, that's an advice that I would give for the Gemmies to do. So, Jimmy Jams, what else have I not spoken about? Let me see. So when it comes to, we have spoken about this part, because I mean, then the moon is there. Did you know that's done? That's gonna be active there. Oh yeah, because I mean, okay, because your Mercury is in your 7th house, because remember the 7th house is about what? Enemies, right? And here there could be always, you know, some sort of known enemies, known competitors that are in the vicinity. And so in your endeavors, you know, just be mindful that you don't get hurt by them, or you don't start something against them. All right. I do see a lot of healing that can be helpful for you, because, you know, Sagittarius is all about, you know, religions as well. You know, that could also help, or maybe just cultural open-mindedness, that could also awaken your spirituality, because at the end of the day, you have Mercury and Sun and Venus in that house, which all three about healing, and then Mars, of course, is about closing up wounds that he could have cut. All right, so some healing could be also nice for you at this time, for those who are feeling isolated or feeling abandoned, right? So that is the message for the Gemmies. Thank you, Gemini. Now, when it comes to the Cancer ascendants and or sun, I do see the period of the 9th until the 13th becoming the first half becoming quite agreeable, quite nice, and then the second one becomes about responsibilities, what you have to do for you, for your family, right? So that becomes highlighted now. Zooming in on to the 9th until the 11th, the moon is still in your Virgo, which is the third house. Some agitation, of course, is to be expected here. Nonetheless, to be careful. And I do see at this time for Cancer guys that you would need to follow through. That's the message. You have to follow through to whatever it's either you promised, because this is all about communication, right? So whatever you promised, or something that has been promised to you, or communication that you are waiting at this time. So you need to make a follow-up. You need to follow through. That's what's being highlighted for Cancer guys at this time, because it is important for you to show your leadership or to prove it in a way. So this is what other people are waiting for or are waiting to see. That are you going to follow through, right? So that's the action that needs to be taken here, and taken also with confidence, regardless of the bickering that maybe other people could be giving to you, a headache, talking about you, gossip, right? So you just need to follow through. That's all that's required of you at this time. I also do see that your word is your bond. Your word is your bond, Cancer. So again, communication, the moon is in the house of communication. So here, whatever you say becomes your bond, your binding factor, and thus quite important that it is done with integrity. So particularly for those who would be signing contracts, make sure that the contract is reflecting who you are or following your values right at this time. So that is what is being asked of Cancer ascendants and suns. But also at the same time, like I said the last time, with the other ascendants, third house, careful of everything, machine that is held by hand. Now, I do see that there could be a shadow here, a shadow thing. So when I say shadow, it could be a secret or a skeleton within the family background, whereby maybe now it could come up for some people, that could be exposed for some people, that part. So and it could also be actually exposed by an enemy, or if the person is your enemy, they're exposing it because you're an enemy, right? So there is that vibe that I'm seeing from the charts here when it comes to the Cancer ascendants now and sun. I also do see at this time that, as I said, healing for you is important, but I also feel I also see from the charts that there could also be some sense of you getting better, you healing, right? It's like at the back of your head, You're feeling that positivity, you're feeling that rejuvenation from the back of the head, even if the physical is out of bound, is gone for treatment. But in the back of your mind, you're feeling positive, you're feeling great, which is absolutely needed and absolutely wonderful. And you are just rejuvenating, right? Now on the 10th and the 11th specifically, now I do see at this time that spouse is here. Okay, so I do see that pertaining to spouse and relationship, because of the placement in the 6th house, there could be some expectations that are being shared now, whereby one could say, okay, you know what, so that we not fight, we never fight, I'll do this, I'll do A, B, C, D, right? And the other one is like, okay, me too, I'll do A, B, C, D. So I do see that contract or mediation type of thing, like coming into an agreement here. And at the same time, what I also can pick up is that it could be some administration that you have to do or answer to a certain authority at this time, because of the moon opposing, that certain Neptune and Chiron. And some of you could be irky about it or not really fond of it. And for those who need to register, whatever you're registering, like for school, it's absolutely recommended that you start applying and filling up your forms or whatever else that needs to be done at this time. I also do see that, some could feel like a certain leader or what they say is quite dangerous. So maybe you are following, a political party, and as you keep listening to their stance and to their videos or whatever, then you can maybe change your mind and feel like, hold on, what did I get myself into, right? So I see those type of things coming up. Now, I think for you guys, I am done for the Cancer guys. What I can say finally is that between the 11th and the 13th, when the moon moves into your 4th house, there could be some inspiration here that comes, maybe regarding to your household, maybe regarding to your house, you maybe property, but there could be some inspiration maybe to revamp it or, something relating to that. But I do see that inspiration rising up. And what I also do see at this time, occupied definitely with all the domestic of life things, and Cancer, moon in the house of Cancer, and some of you could feel definitely pampered and with lots of conveniences coming your way, right? So I do see that. So basically what I can say about the 10th until the 11th is that it's like a bridge. It becomes like a bridge, that period between what you needed to do and how things are going to be, like the results. And I just hope that I'm making sense, because I was having the moon over the moon transiting with Ketu, but now I'm having the moon transiting on my Ketu. So I hope that what I said is making sense, is following through, right? Because who am I to fight against Ketu, right? Ketu has to do what Ketu has to do. So with that said, I think, oh, hold on, because again, that moon is in your transportation house here. Like the other guys I said, they could be doing some sort of a travel. But here, it's all about also carrying stuff. So not just maybe traveling for the fun of it, but it could also be about responsibility, whereby you have to move something or carry something or carry people because of your responsibility, because of something that you have to do. Like that will make you feel the effort like coming out of you, like oh, that was difficult, right? So that's what I do see here. And for those who are dealing with legalities, some cases could be closed now, or they could be coming to an end, particularly for a lot of people, actually, this part, even the other ascendants. So yeah, thank you. When it comes to the Virgos, remember, of course, it depends on your chart, and also reading from ascendant and or the sun sign. I do see that at this time, something relating to love life, spouse, marriage is like, whoa, taking all your energy. But at the same time, I do see that between the 9th and the 11th, which, you know, we're having a moon on your ascendant here, becomes a day of judgment for those who have not been doing well. Maybe you're being judged by your spouse or other people, but that comes up for some Virgos at this time. And sometimes it could be like just, you know, judging you whilst they're watching you. Maybe you're on TV or on YouTube and they're just watching you. They judge you. But at the same time, here there's a part of you that needs to be loved, but at the same time, you are analyzing that need. You are like literally analyzing it. And there could also obviously be something relating to resources that comes into your face now and that you need to deal with at this time. I do see that there could also be something requiring you to have strength at this time, to be fierce, to just go through and face life head on here. Just be careful of being disgraced. You know, it could be disgraced by your spouse, by family member, anyone, right? So just be careful about that. Also, there could be at this time something relating to the bedroom side, or maybe it comes up at this time. I also see that you know, there's a high chance, particularly between the 11th and the 12th, of gaining some money, but money that is retained either through your spouse or because of your spouse or because of your skill, like something that you can do. Yeah, and it can also be, if it's not like in a form of cash money, it could also be in terms of opportunities. So I do see that coming up for some Virgos right now. Further looking at that moon on your ascendant, I also do see that between the 9th until the 10th, particularly the 10th and the 11th. Yeah, this one part here, that you could feel like people could sense some sort of peace within you. So maybe you have placed yourself in a point whereby you just calm and look peaceful, but other people can sense it now, and they can feel a bit of discomfort for those who aren't accustomed to feelings. But then for others, they can feel like you're ready to go deeper, with whatever you have to give to the people. I also do see here that whatever you do, you get to do in terms of action. It is like you can realize it through having a methodological way or format of working, like a process, right? I mean, you're already a Virgo, so by default, having processes for you is like nothing, right? But at this time, this moon is triggering that you need order. You need to compartmentalize some of the things you do, your activities, like have a set goal, like okay, from Friday until Saturday I do this at a certain time. Okay, maybe you don't have to be that too focused, but then this is requiring that you are literally now being triggered to use methods in your daily life, to like routine, like you are being routinized. You already are a Virgo, accustomed to routines, but then this moon here is triggering that for you, that lifestyle. So maybe if you have been letting it go and maybe falling lazy, not living up to your Virgo standards, now it is literally being triggered and you are being asked to do that. You are being required to go back to having everything in method, everything in a certain way, in a certain frame, how Virgos are. But at the same time, just be careful that when you have an output, it is quite measurable. Like it's not something that is you spend too much time on one part and then the other things are falling apart, right? So you are being asked to do things in proportion at this time, because remember, you are having a lot of energies really towards you. You're having the stellium of Pisces towards you, that is Saturn, Neptune, Chiron. You're also having those trines of Uranus, Pluto, but at the same time, you are having some challenges from Rahu in the 6th house, as well as the 4th house cluster. So there's a lot of pressure. So then it explains why this moon for you is triggering that methodological way of living, of having a life, like the order. To see an output, you need order, and that's the message for Virgos. Like that's just it, right? And at the same time, I do see that the results so for those who have been waiting for results, the results could arrive by being conveyed by somebody who's who's different, like somebody who you'd never expected they would give you that message. So of course, for those who are into astrology, it could also come into a spiritual way because of the influence of the Pisces, which is full of planets at this time, right? So I do see also that this moon, it does help you to get you in certain positions or in certain rooms that maybe you wouldn't have been accepted in before. And when the moon moves into the second house from the 11th until the 13th, I do see at this time that when it comes to your career, like your profession, here you need to be mindful of how you move, of how you act, when you against your boss, or towards your boss or colleagues and all of that. So that environment, it needs you to now be serious, to show yourself in a way that people are appreciating you, or they want you to be here with them and in the same place. So that becomes highly active. Or if you don't have a job, I said, it could also be like just at home, whereby people now start to see authority and stuff like that within the home. So there is also when it comes to with the 11th until the 13th, definitely there is also some maybe a direction that you have to decide on in terms of your career, in terms of your profession, what you want to do. For some Virgos, this becomes activated now, whereby you really need to count regarding to your profession and plan. Now on the 13th year, what I see on the 13th, there is something relating to home life, whereby you could settle, maybe it's an order, you settle an order, you close an account, relating to your home life. For those maybe who have had credits, maybe they're able to pay off the credit that you paid, or maybe, I don't know, buying a furniture, something relating to house, to home, or a car, right? So that could come up as well. I also do see at this time that on the 13th here, there could be a minor scandal, because that moon in the second house is also activating the 8th house. So there could be a minor scandal here. So just be careful that the skeletons that there are no skeletons, right? So, but at the same time, because of the 8th house energy, there could be some sudden things that come up and that need your morality and purity at this time. So this is what is required out of you, Virgo. And on that note, I'll stop here for the Virgos. Thank you, Virgo. And then when it comes to the Libra ascendant and sun, remember, it always depends on your chart, depending on the scale, right? So what I do see is support. There's a lot of support that I see for Libra. So it could be support from your family, or it could be support just from friends at this time. So there is that warmth that I see you guys receiving. Now, however, between the 10th and the 12th, there could be some challenges here and there at this time, and maybe some of you could also be lacking some sleep. Like you need to sleep. I think I said it already with the other ascendants, but with one of the ascendants, but for you it really is something else that is bothering. Literally, some of you could be maybe instead of sleeping your normal 6 hours, 8 hours, now you're doing 4. Or also you are spending money, and some of you could be spending a lot of energy on the bedroom things. Literally, like a lot of energy is being spent here, I see. So that means a lot of activity with your partner, right? Which is good. Which is good, but at the same time, just be careful that it does not take away your attention from what you really have to do, because I do see that some of you could spend a lot of time on pleasure and pleasurable things that you are losing out on your obligations, or fulfilling some of your obligations at this time. So I do see then between the 10th and the 11th here, that there is some it's like a declaration really that you have to do. Maybe you've finished a project and you have to report to your boss or something like that. I do see this like, because I mean the Venus is in your third house, or at this time it's dealing with messages and all of that, so there could be some important notice or message that you have to get out at this time, right? I do see also that between the 10th and the 11th at this time, you could also be feeling like, you know, your efforts, because it's a house of efforts, your efforts, they are needing like a harmonious environment. Like you don't want to be in strife, you don't want to be in toxic situations, as I see. You just want calm. That's what I see here. So your efforts are towards that, making sure that there is that calm that you want and avoiding everything that will destroy it. So I do see you having strength to bring together people that have maybe been separated, or they never have time to be together. Maybe you're that friend, but now I do see that being highly activated for you, that social liaison part, whereby you can just call up everybody and you know, order some date, a group date, right? I do see that. And per usual, be careful of the Mars things, because of this, the reason I've been saying Mars with your Lord in the third house. Now, also between the 10th and the 11th here, there is an effort that you have been making. So it could be towards love, it could be towards business, you know, your own business here. So you need to just look at all the skills that you don't use. So maybe you are, let's say maybe you are like a baker, right? And you know very well how to bake cakes, right? But then you hardly try to make muffins. So now you are being required to also consider using or measuring what you don't really use, like the skills that you have but you never use. Like, see now how else can you use them, or you know, where can you use those skills that are not being used? Because remember, third house is about skills, right? It is literally the hand. So, and now you are being asked to do the accounts of, okay, per week I use only 2 skills. Maybe I cook and I clean. But then now you're being asked, you know, by the universe to also consider what else can you do, and then you utilize that. So maybe you can say, I can do marketing, I can do computers, but I've been like at home and a stay wife, home, and I've only been using 2 skills. But no, the message is now you have to assess what you don't use and use that to create harmony around you, and you know, that's balance that is required, right? So at the same time, I also do see that all the way from the 10th until this whole period, right, you need to make sure you do all your everything you have to do relating to power, to administration, to the government. So you are being asked to make sure that you do those things. And on the 13th, I do see that some of you could be you know, dealing with maybe an emotional friend, or emotions from a friend, or maybe a friend is telling you stuff and then you have to agree, okay, I'll keep this a secret or something like that, right? I do see some sort of an agreement because, third house is about communication. And at the same time, I do see that here, for those who are thinking of finding their own place or their own part in the world, right now you could work towards that, towards placing yourself in a certain manner, in a certain order. Maybe your target, maybe you're YouTuber, right? And your target market maybe is politicians. Now you need to place yourself in a way by these people, they can find you. Maybe your topics and whatever, they change, to be able to be found by the right people you're looking for. Because again, I must remind that third house is about skill. So here you are being required or requested to place yourself in a position whereby you are, you can be found by the people that you want to deal with or you want to have achievements with, right? But because of that Mars there, just be careful that you're not overshadowed or mistreated, right? So that is that. Then the moon will move from your 12th house into your first house, which at this time could be bringing you towards you lots of harmony, lots of attraction, definitely. And some of you could start to plan to have kids, or maybe those who are, if you are on your ovulation, you would fall pregnant now, stuff like that. It becomes triggered at this time. So another thing that I see, so between the 10th until the 13th, the 11th until the 13th, is that you would also need to influence other people. So, well, obviously the audience depends, but I mean, being in your ascendant lord, being in a sign of Sagittarius, is all about influencing others, either through counsel, through teaching, but you are being required to influence now. And of course, this is also a stage of social media. So many Libras who want to be in the social media, you have to start now. You must come out now and start to influence people. This is what is being seen here, but just be careful that you don't attract bad acquaintances that could end up ruining what you're trying to build or what you've already built at this time, right? So that is it, because it does show that for you at this time, you'd be easy to be targeted for collaborations that are really not benefiting you, but people are just eating off of you, off of your skill, off of what you can do, right? Your face, right? So there's that angle or risk of attracting these crowds that are just wanting to eat from what you have instead of adding more, right? So other than that, Libra, thank you. So now looking at the global affairs and what would be happening between the 9th until the 13th. Right now it's already past 12, so right now it's 22 1, so on the 10th now. I started recording on the 9th and now it's like the next day already, Paris time, right? And everything is alleged, because I'm gonna be maybe talking about real people, so everything is alleged. This is just astrology, and this is for research purposes only. This is a research channel focused on astrology. I do see a dragon. I do see a dragon, and it's going to be between the 11th and the 13th, particularly the 11th and the 12th. When I say a dragon, I mean like destruction, danger, right? I do see that. Now it's definitely going to be enemies, so enemy on enemy, right? And of course it could be in terms of the markets here, whereby maybe sanctions, or it could also be in terms of military authority, power, right? When it comes to, when I say in terms of the markets, it would be maybe a certain company gives a horrible advice or bad advice, or they don't anticipate well enough, and then maybe they affect the outcome of the market. Or, as I said, it could be just military on military out at this time between the 11th and the 12th. So I do see that coming up. So again, you know, as it has been happening again, the leaders of Iran, this part continues. They continue to be under strain, under stress, and under surveillance. All right, so because I do see a lot of surveillance. I also do see that between the 10th and the 11th, between the 10th and the 11th at this time, there would be another announcement from the government. You know how they now announced the food pyramid. So there would be another announcement, but then it's more of about leadership. It's an announcement regarding to authority, to leadership, to another foreign country, definitely to another foreign country. So maybe the President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald Trump, makes something like something regarding to a foreign country at this time, particularly, you know, those, as I said, maybe Iran or Russia at this time. I do see also some obviously secrets here. I do see some secrets, particularly between 11th and the 12th. So there is something like an authority is hiding a secret, or maybe they are hiding themselves, like literally hiding. There are news maybe reporting that so and so has gone into hiding, so and so, you know, is being protected somewhere else. But I also do see quite a lot of storage here. So I don't know if it could be like in terms of storage containers, you know, but I do see storage, because this is where you hide stuff as well, right, in a storage box or storing container. So maybe there could be a story about some storage, or storage of boxes, storage of containers, stuff like that. I do see that at this time, you know, there could be some leaders here that are related to law or to the religion. So maybe like a judge, or maybe a pope, or somebody, you know, who's religious, and maybe they come out now and they have to give a speech regarding to the chaos that is happening, right? So I do see something like that. It could also be, if it's a lawyer, a court, then maybe it's about a judgment on a huge detail or case, right, that is involving obviously a high leader. I also do see at this time that While some countries are just sensing some threat, whereas others are literally just cheating, meaning that they don't follow the rules. They're just going their own way to make sure that they win. I do see between the 11th and the 12th an overthrow of power here. I do see overthrow of power whereby one maybe a leader is being overthrown and is being overthrown by force. So I do see that, and it could be a direct order by another head of state or even their own head of state. But there's this overthrow that I see, or maybe step down or resignation, stuff like that, right? But I do see something like that on the 11th and the 12th. Now, what I do see also happening between, I would say, the 11th and the 12th, 11th and the 12th to the 13th, at this time, yeah, there could be something relating to learning. So maybe an application, an app that is about learning, or maybe the excellence in general, right? There's a technical knowledge that is being used between the 11th and the 12th. Technical knowledge, so it could be, obviously, as I said, military involvement here, but they're also using these advanced equipments. That's what is showing in the chart. High advanced equipment or material is being used right now, so maybe to manipulate and maneuver a situation. Here I do see some devices being used. So like, you know how sometimes they talk about rigged voting, and then they say, oh no, the machines were used, so I do see some device that is going to be used to gain advantage here. And